kanyimbo, chosako kasingo. Not deep, keep it simple. Was that the silence?
To the tea of today's video, and then let's just say this is story time, okay? All right, so let me just do a throwback 2020, okay? So 2020 August, I remember I was told I'm being transferred, and you guys, I was being transferred to a town that I've never been to. It's a town that I've heard of, and you know, things like that. So I was just like, girl, wow. Yeah. And I went home that evening and just like, God, why? You know, that prayer that they say, don't ask why, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, anyway, so I'm just like, God, please, like, I really don't know what's happening, but I'm saying, help me. Okay, now looking back, I think I really understand why I was crying, because it's been a journey, you guys. But anyways, yeah. So fast forward, I'm just like, girl, you gotta move, you know what I'm saying? You can't sit here beating yourself, crying this and that. And I'm like, anyway, it's no big deal. I'm not the first one, I mean, so yeah, let's do this. So I moved, and I mean, prior to that, my birthday came in September, and just before my birthday, I went on a fast, and I was asking God, what about the year 25? You know what I'm saying? Because I was 25 last year. And the Lord told me this is going to be a year of expansion. And guys, you know, I was excited. Who doesn't love expansion? You know what I mean? When you think expansion, just like, girl, wow. Like, I mean, you just know, more money in your pocket, you know what I'm saying? And all these things. So I was just excited about the expansion, and I'm like, okay, why not? So I move, and I come to this new town, and you guys, it's like expansion began to happen. Yeah, because when I moved, I remember accommodation here was like cheaper. I was paying like close to like half, or like slightly more than half what I was paying at my previous house. So I'm like, okay, that's a win-win for me. To add on, there was no transportation costs and things like that. I'm just like, wow, why was I even crying to come here? You know what I'm saying? But anyways, yeah, that happened. Until January reached, you guys, and a thief broke into my house, and I'm like, wow. And okay, I actually filmed a video about that and the lessons I learned during that phase. And I'm like, okay, let's move, because at the end of the day, I think it's good to recognize or accept situations and move on, because you just can't stay there, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I moved on and life went on. And you guys, guess what? A thief broke into my house again. And you know, I was at that point in my life, I'm like, affliction shall not rise the second time, and things like that. And I really think at this point, I was really like in the wilderness season of my life, because you guys, okay, so a thief broke into my house again, and at this point, I'm like, God, your word says this, your word says that. The devourer shall. You guys, you know, I'm just like, wow. And I just remember telling myself, like, at this point, I think I was living the scripture, not just quoting it. I'm just like, Joseph really just told his brothers the dream, and they sold him. You know what I'm saying? David was just there doing his life, and so wanted to kill him. So maybe Tudu, that's where you are at. You know what I'm saying? And I remember one day telling my boyfriend, like, why are all these things happening to me? Nina looked at your chan, and he's like, no, don't say that. My boyfriend then, by the way, he's my fiance. Okay, yeah, he's my fiance, so yeah. So you guys, I'm just like, now like, no, don't say that. And I'm like, anyways, we move. You know what I'm saying? So in that moment, you guys, and at this point, I want you to realize that what we may be going through may be different. For others, it may be being dumped. For others, it may be losing a job. Like, it may be different things. You know what I'm saying? But then for me, it was a thief breaking into my house. And you guys, as simple as that may sound, it really had a toll on me. Because I remember one evening I get back home, and you know, I just felt so alone, because I'm in a town where I don't know anyone, I don't have family members, but I have like workmates, and I'm saying. So I remember I told my friend, can I come over to your place, blah 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 blah. Yeah, so she agreed. I went there, but then I think she was expecting visitors, and I had to move. And I'm like, okay, David encouraged himself in the Lord, so you have to encourage yourself. So I did just that, and I went back home. And I remember that evening getting back home, and I opened the door, and I just felt so heavy. And in that moment, you guys, the enemy also is a lie. You know what he says? He's like, girl, you're not loved. He's like, girl, like, what do you want on earth? I'm just like, whoa, 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 whoa. At that point, you guys, I realized that mental health really does matter so much. And nowadays, like, I'm really passionate about it. You know what I'm saying? So it really does matter. And at that point, really, I just had to tell myself, I'm like, no, 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 you're loved too. The only problem is right now you can't go home, okay? And you have people who love you, but then they have, like, for example, my friend, she was going to host me, but then she was expecting visitors and I couldn't be there, okay? And even if I say I go home, back home in Saka, I know I'm loved, okay? So I just had to tell myself, no, you're loved, no, you're needed in the earth, and I had to fight back that suicidal thought. So for some of you, you guys, I'd really encourage you, please love yourselves, and in that moment, try and find um someone you can talk to if really you don't have what to say to that situation, okay? So I remember, you guys, I was so tired. I'm just like, God, what am I even doing here? Like, is it because of money that I've brought myself here, and that I'm still carrying on? And I remember, just after having that thought, my auntie calls me, you guys, and I'm so grateful to God for that call, because in that moment she's telling me all these things which make sense, and I'm just like, woman, you're I'm just like, you're so hard, but why? You know what I'm saying? And really, you guys, if someone puts it on your heart to call someone or just to check up on someone, do just that. You may never know how that call will go, but I'm so grateful today looking back, because she guided me. She told me, don't quit your job, because she gave me so many reasons that I'm so grateful for. So thank you so much, Auntie Sui. You saved the girl. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And fast forward down the line, you guys, sorry for that. Yeah. Okay, so after that, that's how now I I went to work the next day, and I'm telling my friend, I'm like, I really can't keep on like this. And I remember in that moment someone comments, you guys, something like, it was a negative statement, and I'm just like, at that point I realized, you guys, words really have capacity to either build faith or fear in somebody. So let's be kind regardless what happens and where we are at in life. Let's be kind and just tell people good things. You know what I'm saying? I hope it's making sense, you guys. Yeah. And I remember thinking over those words. But anyways, I mean, they're just like someone was just saying those things and they didn't mean it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, be thoughtful in how you say things, okay? And I just began to feed my faith, you guys. And I want to tell you guys that in that moment, really, I just had to turn to God. I had no choice. One part of me was like, oh, why is God letting you pass through this? And another part of me is like, we'll all go through waters, we'll go through the fire, but God will be with us in that place. So I'm encouraging you, regardless of where you're at, God is with you and He'll help you through, okay? Yeah. And another thing, you guys, I wanted to quit my job. And now looking back, 2 months down the line, our salary was increased. And I'm just like, wow, what if I had quit my job? You know what I'm saying? And I just told myself, I remember listening to a message by Pastor Stephanie Ike, where she was saying something like, sometimes the enemy is not even fighting you, he's fighting the agenda that you would have for God's kingdom. And for me, looking back now, I remember when my salary was increased, I'm like, God, you really brought me through a lot this moment, and I just want to serve you financially. So I think this year I've given more than I've ever done, I think, in my life. But like, I've tried, you guys, and not just for saying, but just to encourage someone out there. And looking back now, I'm thinking, oh, maybe the enemy wanted to rob me of this opportunity to give into the kingdom of God. Okay? And maybe that's why he was fighting me. And it was increased like by, let's say, like 75%, you know what I'm saying? And that's a good increase. So at the end of the day, I then remember, you guys, one thing that I prayed about was like getting a new job, blah 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 blah, and things like that. Because I wanted more money, of course, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I realized that God comes through in different ways. For me, it may have been, God, I want a new job. But God's like, girl, I'm going to increase your job. I'm going to increase your salary. You know what I'm saying? So God came through for me. And another thing that I learned, you guys, this again, I had to move from that house when they robbed me again. You need to realize where toxic relationships, you need to realize that this place is now toxic for me. For me, it became toxic. For me to think of suicide, you guys, me, I just went in a chipondo, but there's nothing like that. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to these things. So yeah, when you see something like, for me, it was having a relationship with that house. It was near town, it had all the good things, but then it was becoming toxic for me. I couldn't study well. Any kind of small sound, like, who's that? You know what I'm saying? Things like that. And moreover, I used to up during the day, you guys, and I had neighbors, but maybe because everybody in my zone used to like go to work and things like that. And so you have to realize when something is toxic and leave. Like, really, I don't understand people who stay in toxic relationships. Nah, it's not worth it. Really leave. And I remember telling myself, I don't think I can ever stay alone again. And in this town, I'm just like, nah, 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 nah. But like my auntie, I said, my auntie called me and she told me just try again. So I found another house, and I searched, and sometimes, you guys, I want to let you know, people will think you're not trying sometimes. I remember looking for a house and someone tells me, your friends look for houses, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, bruh, you don't know what I'm going through. I remember having a conversation with my friend. She was going through some issue, and she's like, people really think that you're not trying when you are trying, and that even hurts. You know what I'm saying? So really try and appreciate people's efforts. If you don't know what someone is going through, just keep quiet, don't say a thing, because people go through issues. Okay. Yeah. So I remember, and then finally I found this house, and when I just reached that place, my heart was so much at rest, and I'm just like, this is it. And yeah, so I moved there, and I started to find myself again, and I was like, God, is this the same me some few months ago? And I'm super grateful to God. So leave that toxic relationship. You're going to find something better. I know in that moment you're thinking, is there anything better than this? Because in the first place, when they robbed me, you guys, we just like, tried to make it more secure here and there, but they still came back. So sometimes it's not worth it holding on to things that will still hurt you. So learn to let go, and at the end of the day, you find peace there. Okay? Yeah, that was about it. And oh, I remember also, you guys, this year, I remember like about June, July, I looked at my prayer card. And you guys, like everything there, nothing was ticked. This sounds like a joke, but nothing was ticked. And I don't even know, but I remember, again, I remember before my birthday, this time I was asking the Lord, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And the Lord began to tell me to say, this time, you guys, it wasn't even like praying or anything. He just told me, pray in tongues for 26 minutes and praise for 26 minutes. And I'm like, wow. And I did that for 7 days, I think. Was it 10 days? Something like that. And I really didn't know what was happening, but things began to shift. And I remember getting into November, so many things happened. And yeah, among those things is my engagement, you guys. And at the end of the day, looking back, I'm like, God still has been faithful. I really wanted some things, but at the end of the day, God really knew what I needed. And I really think I morphed, I expanded internally. And I'm super grateful to God. I also had some good days, in as much as I had bad days, but I think at the end of the day, I had some good days. And I'm so grateful to God. So thank you for watching to the end. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and all the good stuff. Please tell me how's your 2021. And yeah, thank you for watching. So this was our chit chat. Bye.